Have you ever felt an unexplainable heaviness in your bedroom? That feeling when you wake up more exhausted than when you went to sleep? When the very place that should bring you peace becomes filled with tension, arguments, and spiritual unrest? This is not a coincidence. It's happening for a reason, especially as Holy Week approaches. During Holy Week, the enemy works with greater force, and if you don't know how to protect yourself, evil can enter your home through your own bedroom. Yes, precisely in the environment where you should rest, seek peace, and be spiritually renewed, evil can find a breach. This breach often hides in objects that seem harmless, but spiritually function as conductors of darkness. They're like invisible wires pulling oppression, discouragement, and confusion into your life. Have you noticed that on the most sacred days, everything seems to get worse? Senseless arguments, sudden insomnia, illnesses that appear out of nowhere, an unexplained feeling of being weighed down. Have you woken up tired as if you hadn't slept? Have you felt your home burdened even after praying? What if I told you there could be something in your bedroom right now that's allowing all this? What if I revealed that Padre Pio firmly warned about objects that should never be in a Catholic home, especially in the bedroom, and especially during Holy Week, because this is the time when heaven opens, but hell stirs. It's when angels visit homes, but also when the enemy looks for cracks to enter. And unfortunately, many faithful Catholics unknowingly keep these cracks open. This message is for you. Yes, you who feels you're fighting against something invisible. You who pray but feel there's a blockage. You who seek peace but perceive the environment as heavy, confusing, dark. This is not a coincidence. This is a warning. If you're here, it's because the Holy Spirit, or perhaps Padre Pio himself, brought you. Because there's something that needs to be removed from your bedroom, something that's feeding spiritual battles within your home. Padre Pio knew what combat was. He faced the devil in body and soul. Once, during Holy Week, he was found unconscious and covered in bruises, as if he had been beaten by invisible forces. Upon waking, he said, "The devil was furious because there are homes full of faith, but also full of breaches." Today, you will discover the 3 objects that should never be in your bedroom. And more, I'll teach you a purification ritual that Padre Pio recommended only to those closest to him, a ritual of prayer, faith, and spiritual authority. But attention, the 3rd object is the most treacherous. It seems religious. It seems sacred, but if contaminated, it becomes the main gateway for evil. And that's exactly why so many Catholics are becoming ill, suffering, sinking spiritually even while in prayer. Now answer, do you want to protect your home? Want to shield your family? Want to close the doors the enemy uses to enter? Comment right now, Padre Pio, purify my home, and share what you've been feeling, because many people are experiencing the same thing, but don't know why. If you believe in Padre Pio's intercession, if you believe in the power of prayer, subscribe to this channel now. Here you don't just receive videos. Here you receive spiritual revelations that the enemy hates and heaven loves. Before we continue, I want to share something special with you. If you've been feeling called to deepen your spiritual protection, I've prepared an ebook called The Spiritual Secrets of Saint Padre Pio. This book contains powerful prayers, reflections based on his teachings, and practical advice to strengthen your spirituality. This resource was created to help people just like you who are seeking stronger spiritual protection. You'll find the link to this special material in the comments section below. Now, let's continue with our important revelation. Now let's go straight to the point. The 3 spiritually dangerous objects that must be removed from your bedroom immediately. Padre Pio used to say, "The devil hides where no one looks, and attacks through what we keep out of distraction, attachment, or ignorance." Did you know that Padre Pio spent countless nights battling spiritual forces? His fellow friars would often hear strange noises coming from his cell, sounds of struggle, of combat. One morning, after a particularly difficult night during Holy Week, they found him with bruises and scratches. When they asked what had happened, Padre Pio simply said, "The enemy attacks most fiercely when we are closest to God." This is essential for you to understand. Holy Week is both a time of tremendous grace and a time of spiritual vulnerability. As the veil between heaven and earth grows thinner for the celebration of Christ's passion and resurrection, the enemy becomes more desperate to find entry points into our lives. Your bedroom is especially vulnerable. It's where you dream, where your subconscious mind is open, where you are in your most vulnerable state. It's also where you begin and end each day, making it spiritually significant in ways you might not have considered. Have you been experiencing unusual nightmares, waking up at exactly 3 a.m. without explanation, feeling watched or observed while trying to sleep, having recurring arguments with family members for seemingly no reason, finding it increasingly difficult to pray or feel God's presence in your home? These are not random occurrences. They are often signs of spiritual interference. Padre Pio could see the invisible battles taking place in homes. He once told a woman who came to him for confession, "Your home is beautiful, but there's darkness in your bedroom. Something there does not belong to God." The woman was shocked. She had been suffering from insomnia and anxiety for months without understanding why. Now that you've opened your eyes to the spiritual reality of your home, it's time to confront 3 objects that should never be in your bedroom, especially during Holy Week. Objects that many keep out of habit, attachment, or affection, but that may be opening spiritual portals within your own home. And pay close attention. The 3rd object is the most deceptive. It seems sacred, but may be spiritually corrupted, and many don't even imagine it. Are you ready to discover what must be removed from your bedroom before Holy Week begins? Are you prepared to close the doors that have allowed spiritual darkness to enter your most intimate space? Because what I'm about to reveal is knowledge that Padre Pio shared only with those who were serious about their spiritual protection. They are beautiful, classic, sometimes inherited from a family member. But few imagine what a mirror can carry spiritually. Let me share with you something profound that many modern Catholics have forgotten. Throughout Christian tradition, mirrors have been understood as more than decorative objects. The Church Fathers often wrote about reflective surfaces as spiritual windows, portals that can connect to light or darkness. Padre Pio was particularly cautious about mirrors, especially old ones with unknown histories. He warned that inherited objects can retain the spiritual atmosphere of the previous home, and mirrors, with their deep symbolism, have been considered by many saints as a spiritual window, either to light or to darkness. A mirror reflects not just your physical appearance, Padre Pio would say. It can become a threshold between worlds if not properly blessed. Did you know that many people report feeling watched, persistent insomnia, or even seeing shadows near antique mirrors in their bedrooms? One woman who came to Padre Pio described how her children refused to sleep in a room with an antique mirror from her grandmother. The children would wake screaming about the people in the mirror watching them. After Padre Pio advised her to remove it, peace returned to their home immediately. An unconsecrated mirror can reflect more than your image. It can reflect a presence. This isn't superstition, it's spiritual wisdom passed down through generations of mystics and saints who understood the invisible dimensions of our physical world. If you have an inherited mirror, one bought second-hand, or one coming from spiritually questionable places, consecrate it immediately. Or better yet, remove it from the bedroom. A mirror can be beauty, or it can be a breach. Padre Pio recommended that any mirrors kept in the home, especially bedrooms, should be blessed by a priest. But during Holy Week, when spiritual forces are particularly active, the safest action is to remove them entirely from sleeping areas. Look around your bedroom now. Is there a mirror, especially an old one, facing your bed? Does it reflect you while you sleep? If so, this may be the first breach that needs to be sealed in your home. But this is just the beginning. The second object is even more common in our bedrooms. yet few recognize its spiritual danger. The second object is more invisible to the eyes, but profoundly dangerous. Padre Pio taught with profound insight, the enemy attaches himself to our unhealed wounds. Take a moment now and look around your bedroom, in drawers, boxes, under your bed, or even displayed on walls and shelves. How many objects do you keep that are tied to painful memories? Old love letters from relationships that ended badly, diaries filled with your darkest thoughts, photographs of painful moments, gifts that now carry hurt, anger, resentment. All of these transform into spiritual knots. This spiritual principle is rarely discussed, yet Padre Pio considered it one of the most significant ways the enemy gains access to our sacred spaces. While you hold on to what wounded you, you remain chained to what should have been healed. Evil feeds on attachments, on bonds not released, on emotions frozen in time. Every time you look at that photo, touch that letter, or hold that gift, you're reopening a wound, and wounds attract spiritual infection. I remember a man who came to Padre Pio complaining of crushing nightmares. When questioned about his bedroom, he admitted keeping a box of mementos from his ex-wife who had abandoned him for another man. The letters, photos, and gifts sat in his bedside table, the last thing he saw before sleeping and the first thing near him when he woke. Padre Pio's counsel was immediate. While you keep these things close, you keep your pain alive and the door open. As long as there is an accursed memory kept with care, the enemy will have a place to rest. Look around your bedroom again. Is there something that ties you to the past, that reminds you of what made you bleed, that prevents you from moving forward in peace? If so, remove it, burn it, release it, and in its place, put a sign of forgiveness and new beginning. This doesn't mean you must destroy every photograph or memory, but objects tied to trauma, anger, unforgiveness, and emotional wounding should never remain in your sleeping space. They can be properly processed with prayer, perhaps with the help of a spiritual director, and then either transformed or released. But now we come to the most dangerous object, one that might shock you because it seems to be the very thing that should protect you. This is the most dangerous because it deceives. Many think they're protected because they have a crucifix, a rosary, or an image of a saint in their bedroom, but they don't know where they came from, nor how they were blessed or contaminated. Yet Padre Pio stated with clarity, not every object with the appearance of being sacred carries the presence of God. This revelation often shocks faithful people. How could a crucifix, a rosary, or a saint's image be spiritually dangerous? The answer lies not in the symbol itself, but in its origin, intention, and the reverence with which it's treated. Religious images purchased at esoteric fairs, rosaries that have gone through incorrect rituals, medals that were used by people involved with the occult, all of these can be spiritually corrupted. The appearance may be holy, but the spiritual essence has been tainted. Consider this carefully. Would you drink from a beautiful cup if you knew it contained poison? Of course not. Yet many invite spiritual toxins into their most intimate spaces through objects that appear holy, but carry hidden spiritual contamination. Padre Pio had an extraordinary gift of seeing the invisible realities attached to physical objects. One day, a woman brought him a beautiful antique crucifix she had purchased at a market. Before she could even speak, Padre Pio recoiled and said, "Remove this from your home immediately." It was used in rituals that mocked Christ. The woman was stunned. She had been experiencing terrible nightmares since bringing the crucifix home. Even worse, many of these objects sit in bedrooms, forgotten, dusty, broken, abandoned. They hang crookedly on walls, lie at the bottom of drawers, or stand as mere decorations without true reverence. A forgotten rosary becomes a rusty sword. A fallen crucifix loses its light. Faith does not coexist with neglect. What belongs to God must be honored. Every Catholic home should have sacred objects, but they must be authentic in both their origin and the devotion shown to them. A crucifix purchased from a reputable religious source and blessed by a priest carries protective power, but the same symbol bought from a questionable source or treated without reverence can become spiritually ineffective or even harmful. During Holy Week, this distinction becomes even more critical. The sacred days ahead intensify both holy presence and unholy interference. If there are sacred objects in your bedroom, care for them. Dust them, straighten them, pray before them, and if they came from dubious sources or have been used without devotion, replace them with truly consecrated objects, because where the cross is honored, evil does not remain. Now let me tell you exactly what you need to do to cleanse your bedroom of these spiritual dangers and create a sanctuary of peace and divine protection. Padre Pio never left anyone without instruction. He taught a ritual of spiritual purification for the bedroom, simple, powerful, and transformative. Take note now, Padre Pio understood that spiritual warfare requires practical action combined with sincere faith. The ritual I'm about to share with you isn't complex magic or elaborate ceremony. It's a straightforward application of Catholic spiritual principles that anyone can perform. Yet its power comes not from the actions themselves, but from the authority of Christ working through your faith. This purification ritual was something Padre Pio would typically share only with those who came to him in urgent spiritual need. He knew that our homes, particularly our bedrooms, need to be reclaimed as sacred territory. Here's the step-by-step ritual that Padre Pio recommended. Use holy water. Get a small bottle. Go to your bedroom. Start at the door and say, "In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, may all evil leave this place. May only the Holy Spirit dwell here. In the name of Jesus Christ, Amen." Repeat 3 times, moving around the bed, drawers, dark corners, closets. The power of holy water has been recognized by the Church for centuries, not because the water itself has magical properties, but because it has been blessed and set apart as a vehicle of God's grace. Remove the revealed objects without hesitation. If something causes you doubt, take it out. Better to err on the side of caution than to live oppressed by omission. If it's profane, throw it away. If it's religious, take it to church and dispose of it with reverence. Don't delay this step. Procrastination often comes from spiritual resistance. Place sacred symbols. Where there was a breach, place a blessing, a visible crucifix, a picture of Mary, a rosary beside the bed, a Bible open to Psalm 91. Transform your bedroom into a sanctuary. These aren't just decorative items, they're declarations of allegiance and protection. Pray with intention. The rosary only protects those who touch it with faith. The crucifix only illuminates if it's honored with love. Pray as Padre Pio prayed, with surrender, with gratitude, with reverence. The objects themselves have no power apart from the faith you invest in what they represent. Padre Pio emphasized that this ritual should be performed with complete conviction. Half-hearted spiritual warfare, he would say, is like going into battle with a broken sword. Your belief in the authority of Christ working through you is essential to the effectiveness of this ritual. It's also important to understand that this isn't a one-time fix. Spiritual protection is an ongoing practice. That's why Padre Pio developed a special 3-day challenge that would completely transform the spiritual atmosphere of your bedroom. Are you ready to take your spiritual protection to the next level? Are you willing to commit to 3 days that could change everything? Because what comes next is not just about removing what's harmful, it's about establishing lasting spiritual victory in your most personal space. And if you want to go a step further, accept the 3-day purification challenge with Padre Pio. What makes this 3-day challenge so powerful is that it's not just about removing negative influences. It's about actively establishing God's presence in your personal space. Padre Pio designed this practice to create not just a neutral room, but a spiritual sanctuary. This challenge follows an ancient spiritual principle: thorough cleansing, day 1, purification, day 2, and consecration, day 3. It's the same pattern found throughout Scripture, from the preparation of the temple to the spiritual journeys of the saints. Here's how the 3-day challenge works. Day 1. Remove everything that doesn't belong to God from your bedroom. This goes beyond the 3 main objects we've discussed. Look at everything with spiritual eyes. Books, decorations, entertainment. Anything that doesn't honor God or uplift your spirit should be removed. Be thorough and decisive. As Padre Pio said, holiness requires a radical choice between God and everything else. Day 2. Purify with holy water and pray Psalm 91 aloud. Sprinkle holy water in every corner while reciting Psalm 91, the great psalm of protection, in a clear, confident voice. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Let these ancient words of power fill the room. The sound of Scripture spoken in faith has tremendous spiritual impact. Day 3. Consecrate the space with a crucifix or image of the Virgin Mary, light a candle, and pray the complete rosary. This final day establishes your bedroom as sacred ground. The lit candle represents Christ's light dispelling darkness. The rosary, when prayed completely and with devotion, creates a spiritual shield around your space that evil cannot penetrate. As you finish, make a formal dedication of your bedroom to God's purposes. 3 days, 3 steps. A new spiritual environment. Padre Pio said, "Heaven responds to the determined heart, and I tell you, if you accept this challenge, your life will change. The atmosphere of your bedroom will be transformed. Sleep will be restored. The fighting will cease, and even health can be touched, because where God reigns, evil does not remain." Many who have completed this 3-day challenge report remarkable changes. Some experience deep, restful sleep for the first time in years. Others notice family tensions dissolving. Still others find their prayer life suddenly vibrant and powerful, as if a barrier has been removed. One woman who followed Padre Pio's instructions wrote, "After completing the 3 days, my bedroom feels completely different. Lighter, peaceful. The nightmares that plagued me for months have stopped entirely. I can feel God's presence when I wake up now." The power of this challenge comes not from complicated rituals, but from your sincere determination to make your most intimate space a place where God's presence dwells fully. This is how we truly secure our homes against spiritual darkness, not just by removing what's harmful, but by actively inviting what is holy. Are you ready to experience this transformation? Are you willing to commit these 3 days to reclaiming your bedroom as holy ground? If so, let's seal this commitment with a powerful prayer of protection. Now take a deep breath. Be silent. Close your eyes and say with faith, "My home belongs to God." Repeat this today, tomorrow, every day, because when you declare this aloud, hell trembles. The spiritual battle for your home is not just about objects, it's about authority. Who has permission to influence your space, your sleep, your peace? When you decisively claim your bedroom for God, you exercise the spiritual authority that is your right as a child of God. Think about this. Your bedroom is where you spend about 1/3 of your life. It's where you dream, where you're vulnerable, where you begin and end each day. When this space becomes spiritually purified and protected, the effects ripple throughout your entire existence. Padre Pio understood the profound connection between physical spaces and spiritual realities. He could walk into a room and immediately sense its spiritual condition. Each place, he would say, holds the imprint of what has occurred there, both seen and unseen. By following the steps I've shared with you today, removing dangerous objects, performing the purification ritual, and accepting the 3-day challenge, you're erasing negative spiritual imprints and establishing new, holy ones. Touch your rosary, your crucifix, your sacred image, and pray with me, "Lord Jesus, at this moment I place my home before you. I place my bedroom, my bed, my thoughts, my dreams. Enter where I cannot enter. Purify what I cannot see. Free what I cannot reach. Padre Pio, holy warrior of heaven, intercede for me. Remove from my home every presence that does not come from God. Holy Mary, cover this home with your mantle. May angels guard my sleep and may hell be silenced. Lord, may my house be sacred ground. May my bedroom be an altar. May my family be protected by your cross. And may all evil be expelled now. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. As Holy Week approaches, commit to maintaining this spiritual vigilance. Remember that what you've learned today isn't just about protecting against negative influences. It's about creating a sanctuary where God's presence can dwell fully. The objects we surround ourselves with matter, the unconsecrated mirrors that can become spiritual windows, the mementos of pain and trauma that keep wounds open, the religious items from questionable sources that masquerade as protection but offer none. All of these must be addressed with spiritual wisdom and decisive action. But more important than what you remove is what you establish in its place. A bedroom filled with prayer, blessed objects, scripture, and intentional devotion becomes not just safe from evil, but a channel of blessing for your entire life. Padre Pio would often tell those who came to him troubled by spiritual oppression, make your bedroom a place where angels delight to visit. This is now your invitation and your mission. If this prayer touched your soul, comment right now, "My bedroom belongs to God," and share this video with someone who needs it. You can be the instrument of healing and liberation in another person's life. Remember, Holy Week is both a time of spiritual vulnerability and tremendous grace. By preparing your home, especially your bedroom, you're positioning yourself to receive all that heaven wants to pour out during these sacred days. The enemy knows his time is short. That's why he fights so desperately for influence in your most intimate spaces. But with the wisdom of Padre Pio, the protection of sacred objects properly blessed, and your own determined faith, victory is assured. Now is the time to act. Remove those 3 dangerous objects. Perform the purification ritual. Accept the 3-day challenge and watch as God transforms not just your bedroom, but your entire spiritual life. My friends, this isn't just about having a peaceful night's sleep, though you'll certainly experience that. This is about reclaiming territory in the spiritual battle for your soul. This is about declaring, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." And now, click here and enter the complete liberation prayer with Padre Pio. This is not the end of this video, it's the beginning of your healing. Have you ever wondered if the place where your rosary rests at night could actually influence your soul while you sleep? Have you noticed how we carelessly toss our most precious spiritual possessions onto nightstands, into drawers, or worse, let them gather dust in forgotten corners? My dear friends, what I'm about to reveal isn't just another pious suggestion from centuries past. It's a secret that Padre Pio guarded so carefully that he shared it only with his closest spiritual children, a practice so powerful that it literally transformed the supernatural landscape of his bedroom every single night. Picture this: San Giovanni Rotondo, 1958. A young mother named Catherine travels hundreds of miles to seek Padre Pio's help. Her 5-year-old daughter has been plagued by terrifying nightmares for months. Doctors found nothing wrong. Psychiatrists offered no solutions, but when Catherine finally reaches Padre Pio's confessional, his advice is shockingly simple. He tells her exactly where to place her daughter's rosary at bedtime. Within 3 nights, the nightmares vanish completely. Within a week, the child is sleeping peacefully for the first time in months. What did Padre Pio know that we don't? What was so special about this placement that it could silence the spiritual storms that rage in the darkness? Tonight, you're going to discover the exact location where this saint, who bore the wounds of Christ himself, placed his rosary every single night of his adult life. You're going to learn why this specific spot became his spiritual fortress against the attacks that would come in the vulnerable hours of sleep. But here's what will surprise you most. This isn't about superstition or religious ritual. This is about understanding something profound that Padre Pio discovered through years of intense spiritual warfare. Your bedroom can become either a battleground or a sanctuary, depending on one simple choice you make before you close your eyes. If you're ready to transform your nights from restless tossing into peaceful, protected rest, write in the comments, "Padre Pio, teach me your secret." This isn't just a comment. It's your declaration that you're ready to experience the same divine protection that surrounded this remarkable saint. The revelation you're about to receive has been tested by decades of spiritual battle. It's been proven in the quiet monasteries of Italy and the busy bedrooms of families worldwide. And tonight, it becomes yours. Here's something that will completely change how you see your rosary. Padre Pio never called it a prayer tool or a devotional aid. He had a different word for it entirely. He called it his spiritual artillery. Listen to this actual conversation recorded by Brother Leone, who lived with Padre Pio for over 20 years. A visiting priest once asked, "Father Pio, why do you never put your rosary down, even during meals?" Padre Pio's response was electrifying. Would a soldier lay down his weapon in enemy territory? This rosary has absorbed 10,000 Ave Marias. Each bead pulses with the heartbeat of heaven. When darkness attacks, this is what stands between my soul and destruction. This wasn't poetic language. Padre Pio had discovered something that most Christians never realize. Every sincere prayer we offer literally charges our rosary with spiritual energy. Think of it like a battery that stores divine power with each Hail Mary, each Our Father. But unlike earthly batteries that eventually drain, a rosary's spiritual charge only grows stronger with use. Brother Alessio once witnessed something that haunts him to this day. During one of Padre Pio's famous spiritual battles, when demonic forces would physically attack him, he watched the saint grip his rosary so tightly that the metal crucifix left an impression in his palm. But here's the remarkable part. As Padre Pio began praying, the temperature in the room seemed to change. The oppressive spiritual darkness that had filled the monastery cell began to lift, as if the rosary itself was radiating a force stronger than any earthly power. The beads became warm in his hands, Brother Alessio recalled years later. And not from body heat, but from something else entirely. I could feel peace flowing from that rosary like water from a spring. But Padre Pio understood something even more profound. He realized that a rosary's power doesn't stop when we stop praying. In one of his most famous teachings, he explained, "A well-prayed rosary becomes a living thing. It continues interceding for you even when your lips are silent, even when your mind is at rest." This is why he developed such an intense relationship with his personal rosary. It wasn't just any rosary. It was his rosary, charged with decades of fervent prayer, soaked with tears of joy and sorrow, warmed by countless hours in his hands during the most intimate moments of his spiritual life. Maria Gargani, one of his spiritual daughters, once asked him, "Why, Father, what makes your rosary different from mine?" His answer reveals everything. "My dear child, your rosary becomes as powerful as your faith makes it. Every time you pray with sincere devotion, you're not just talking to heaven. You're transforming this physical object into a spiritual weapon." The question isn't whether the rosary has power. The question is, have you given it the chance to absorb your prayers? During World War II, when bombs fell near San Giovanni Rotondo, witnesses reported seeing Padre Pio walking the corridors of the monastery, rosary in hand, lips moving in constant prayer. The building shook from explosions, but an inexplicable calm filled every room where he passed. Soldiers later testified that they felt an invisible protection surrounding the monastery, as if some force field deflected danger. What was that force field? Padre Pio knew exactly what it was: the accumulated spiritual energy of thousands of rosaries, prayed by thousands of faithful souls, creating a barrier of divine protection that no earthly weapon could penetrate. But the most powerful aspect of Padre Pio's understanding goes beyond protection from external threats. He discovered that a properly venerated rosary actually transforms the spiritual atmosphere around it. This is why his nighttime practice wasn't just about keeping evil away. It was about inviting heaven closer. You know, as I've been sharing these profound insights about Padre Pio's relationship with the rosary, I'm reminded of something beautiful. We've been receiving letters from viewers all around the world who are experiencing the same kinds of spiritual breakthroughs that Padre Pio's own followers witnessed decades ago. That's exactly why we created our comprehensive guide, The Power of the Rosary with Padre Pio, Miracles, Protection, and Divine Graces. This isn't just another religious booklet. It's a carefully researched collection of Padre Pio's actual teachings about transforming your rosary from a simple prayer aid into the spiritual powerhouse he knew it could become. Inside, you'll discover the specific prayers Padre Pio used to charge his rosary with spiritual energy. Learn the profound testimonies of families whose lives were completely transformed by following his practices, and receive a complete 30-day spiritual program that guides you step by step into the deeper mysteries of rosary prayer that most people never experience. You'll also find the special protection prayers that Padre Pio himself used during his most intense spiritual battles. Prayers that have shielded countless souls from spiritual attack and brought miraculous healing into desperate situations. The rosary was Padre Pio's greatest spiritual weapon, and through this guide, it can become yours too. To access this transformative resource, simply click the link pinned in the comments. Your spiritual life is about to take a quantum leap forward. Now, let me share with you the specific secret that made Padre Pio's nights so spiritually invincible. Here's something that will make your skin tingle with recognition. Padre Pio once told his spiritual children, "The demons mock us during the day, but they hunt us at night." He wasn't speaking metaphorically. He was sharing hard-won wisdom from decades of supernatural warfare. Dr. Giorgio Festa, who extensively studied Padre Pio's mystical experiences, documented something extraordinary. During sleep studies conducted in the 1920s, they discovered that Padre Pio's brain activity during sleep was unlike anything medical science had ever recorded. While his body rested, his mind showed patterns consistent with deep prayer and spiritual awareness. It was as if he remained partially conscious of spiritual realities even while physically asleep. But here's the detail that changes everything. This unusual brain activity only occurred when his rosary was positioned in a very specific location. Padre Pio placed his rosary on the left side of his bed, precisely where his heart would rest when he lay down. But it wasn't just the location, it was the intention behind the placement. Each night, before placing the rosary, he would hold it against his chest and whisper what he called the protection prayer. "Holy Mother, let this rosary be the guardian of my sleeping soul." Brother Antonio, who cared for Padre Pio during his final years, witnessed this ritual thousands of times. He noticed something remarkable. On the rare occasions when Padre Pio forgot this practice or was too exhausted to perform it properly, his sleep was restless, filled with spiritual disturbances. But when the rosary was positioned with intention by his heart, Padre Pio would sleep with the peaceful expression of a child, often smiling as if experiencing beautiful visions. The science behind this practice is actually quite profound. Your heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in your human body, 50 times stronger than your brain's electrical activity. Padre Pio understood intuitively what modern biophysics has confirmed. The heart is literally the power center of your entire being. When he placed his rosary next to this electromagnetic powerhouse, something extraordinary happened. The spiritual energy stored in the rosary began to resonate with his heart's natural rhythms. It created what he called a symphony of prayer that continued throughout the night, even while his conscious mind rested. Teresa Neumann, the famous German mystic who corresponded with Padre Pio, wrote about her own experience with this practice. "I followed Father Pio's guidance about the bedside rosary. The first night, I dreamed of a beautiful lady in blue standing beside my bed, her hands folded in prayer. I woke feeling more rested than I had in years. The lady appeared in my dreams every night for a week, and each morning brought deeper peace than the last. But the protection extends beyond peaceful sleep." Padre Pio taught that nighttime is when we're most vulnerable to what he called spiritual interference, negative thoughts, anxieties and fears that seem to multiply in the darkness. The heart-positioned rosary creates what he described as a fortress of Hail Marys around your sleeping soul. Consider this documented case from 1962. A woman named Isabella suffered from chronic insomnia and nighttime panic attacks. Doctors prescribed sleeping pills, but nothing worked. In desperation, she traveled to see Padre Pio. His advice was startlingly simple. Place your rosary by your heart and speak this prayer before sleep. "Mary, wrap me in your mantle of peace." Isabella followed his instructions exactly. The first night, she slept for 6 straight hours, more than she'd slept in months. By the end of the week, her panic attacks had completely disappeared. 30 years later, she still follows Padre Pio's practice and has never experienced another sleepless night. The positioning works because it creates a spiritual circuit. Your heart pumps blood through your entire body, carrying oxygen and nutrients to every cell. Padre Pio understood that when the rosary rests near this vital organ, the prayers it contains begin to circulate through your entire being, creating what he called internal protection that no external force can penetrate. Now comes the moment where ancient wisdom meets practical application. Creating Padre Pio's sacred bedside space isn't about religious decoration. It's about engineering a spiritual environment that works while you sleep. Here's exactly how Padre Pio prepared his bedside sanctuary, according to the detailed observations of those who lived closest to him. First, he would clear his nightstand completely each evening. No books, no water glass, no personal items. The surface had to be clean, representing what he called spiritual emptiness, ready to be filled with divine presence. This wasn't obsessive tidiness. It was intentional creation of sacred space. Next came the positioning ritual that he performed with the precision of a scientist. Padre Pio would test where his heart naturally rested by lying down briefly and marking the exact spot on his nightstand that aligned with his chest. This mark became the permanent resting place for his rosary. Brother Antonio noted that Padre Pio measured this distance so precisely that he could place his rosary in the correct position even in complete darkness. But here's the detail that most people miss. Padre Pio didn't just set the rosary down, he arranged it in a very specific pattern. The crucifix always faced toward his heart, while the medal, usually a miraculous medal, faced toward the ceiling. He explained this positioning to Sister Raphaelina. "The crucifix draws my heart to Christ's sacrifice, while the medal opens a channel for Mary's intercession to flow down from heaven." The rosary beads themselves were arranged in a perfect circle around the crucifix and medal, creating what Padre Pio called a crown of prayer that visually represented the spiritual protection surrounding his sleep. Dr. Sanguinetti, one of the few medical professionals allowed to observe Padre Pio's private routines, documented something fascinating. Using early electromagnetic measurement equipment, he detected unusual energy readings emanating from Padre Pio's precisely positioned rosary during nighttime hours. The readings were strongest between 2 and 4 a.m., what mystics call the hour of mercy, when spiritual warfare is traditionally most intense. Now, here's how you can create this same sacred environment in your own bedroom. Choose a small area on your nightstand that can become exclusively dedicated to this practice. Padre Pio taught that consistency of location builds spiritual momentum. The same spot accumulates divine energy over time. Before placing your rosary each night, hold it in both hands and speak this exact prayer that Padre Pio used. Sacred Heart of Jesus, bless this rosary with your divine protection. Holy Mary, let it guard my sleep and guide my dreams. Feel the weight of the beads, the texture of the crucifix, the accumulated prayers of every time you've held this rosary. As you position it by your heart side, imagine invisible threads of light connecting each bead to your sleeping soul. Padre Pio taught his followers to visualize these prayer threads, forming a cocoon of protection around their bed, with Mary herself weaving additional strands of maternal love throughout the night. Some of Padre Pio's spiritual children added what he called amplifiers to their bedside sacred space. A small vial of holy water positioned near the rosary, a tiny relic or saint's medal, a handwritten prayer card with their personal intentions. But Padre Pio always cautioned, the power isn't in the number of objects, but in the sincerity of faith behind their placement. One particularly beautiful addition that Padre Pio encouraged was the gratitude stone, a small, smooth rock that you hold while placing your rosary, mentally thanking God for one specific blessing from that day. This simple practice transforms the bedside ritual from mere protection-seeking into active relationship-building with the divine. The transformation in your bedroom's spiritual atmosphere happens gradually, but unmistakably. People who follow Padre Pio's practice report that their bedroom begins to feel different, more peaceful, more sacred, more like a sanctuary than just a sleeping space. Some describe sensing an almost tangible presence of protection, especially during the vulnerable hours before dawn. Tonight, as darkness settles around your home and the world grows quiet, you have the opportunity to step into a practice that has protected countless souls for over 60 years. This isn't just about following religious tradition. This is about claiming the same divine protection that shielded one of the most spiritually powerful men who ever lived. Think about what changes when you realize that your bedroom can become a fortress of prayer, that your sleep can be surrounded by the same spiritual forces that protected Padre Pio through his most intense battles with darkness. Every night becomes an opportunity to rest not just your body but your soul, wrapped in the protective embrace of heaven itself. When you place your rosary by your heart tonight, you're not just arranging an object. You're making a declaration of trust that echoes through the spiritual realm. You're saying, I believe that God's protection is real, that Mary's intercession is powerful, and that my faith can transform even the most ordinary moments into encounters with the divine. The beautiful truth is that this practice connects you instantly to a spiritual family that spans the globe. At this very moment, faithful souls on every continent are placing their rosaries with the same intention, creating an invisible network of prayer that encircles the earth. Your simple act of faith joins you to this worldwide community of believers who understand that spiritual protection is not just possible. It's promised to those who seek it with sincere hearts. Padre Pio's final recorded words about this practice were spoken to a young priest just weeks before his death. My son, I have fought many battles in my life, faced attacks that would terrify ordinary men. But every morning, I wake in peace because I sleep under Mary's protection. This simple practice has been my shield, my comfort, my assurance that I am never alone in the darkness. Take this gift and share it. The world needs this protection now more than ever. Those words carry even more weight today in our modern world where anxiety, fear, and spiritual confusion seem to multiply in the quiet hours of night. Padre Pio's practice offers something that no medication, no therapy, no worldly solution can provide: the absolute certainty that you are safe in the hands of divine love. If this message has stirred something deep in your spirit, if you feel called to experience the same protection that sustained Padre Pio through decades of spiritual warfare, then take a moment right now to write, "I trust in your protection," in the comments below. This isn't just a social media interaction, it's your public declaration of faith, your announcement to heaven and earth that you're ready to experience supernatural peace in your daily life. But here's something beautiful I want you to understand. By engaging with this message, by sharing it with others, by becoming part of our spiritual community, you're participating in something that Padre Pio himself would recognize as a miracle. You're helping to spread divine wisdom to souls who desperately need hope, using the tools of our modern age to accomplish the same mission that drove Padre Pio's entire life: bringing people into deeper relationship with God. Every time you like this video, you're voting for faith over fear. Every time you share it, you become a messenger of hope to someone who might be struggling with nighttime anxieties, spiritual attacks, or simply the loneliness that comes with feeling disconnected from divine protection. Your simple actions online become acts of spiritual charity that ripple through the lives of people you'll never meet this side of heaven. My beloved friends, what we're building here together transcends the boundaries of typical social media content. We're creating a digital monastery where Padre Pio's timeless wisdom meets the urgent spiritual needs of our contemporary world. Every video we produce, every teaching we share, every moment of divine truth we bring to light represents a small victory against the spiritual confusion that plagues our age. When you subscribe to this channel, you're not simply following another religious program. You're enlisting in a mission that Padre Pio himself would enthusiastically embrace, using every available tool to bring souls into closer relationship with God. You're saying yes to becoming part of a community where ancient wisdom and modern technology unite to heal hearts and transform lives. Your engagement is the fuel that powers this sacred work. When you hit that like button, you're casting a vote for content that elevates the soul rather than entertaining the flesh. When you share our videos, you become a missionary in the truest sense, carrying hope into homes where despair has taken root, bringing light into lives where darkness has grown comfortable. And when you become a member of our channel family, you're making a commitment that goes beyond casual viewership. You're joining a spiritual support network where thousands of believers encourage each other's faith journey, share testimonies of answered prayers, and create a digital sanctuary where God's presence is welcomed and celebrated. Think about the profound responsibility and beautiful opportunity we share. In a world where faith is often mocked, where spiritual wisdom is dismissed as outdated superstition, where millions of souls hunger for authentic connection with the divine, we have the privilege of offering something real, something tested by time, something that actually works. This mission can only continue and grow through your faithful partnership. Every subscription strengthens our ability to research deeper into Padre Pio's teachings. Every share multiplies our reach into corners of the internet where lonely souls search for meaning. Every comment you leave creates community among believers who need to know they're not alone in their spiritual journey. Together, we're preserving and spreading spiritual treasures that have the power to heal our broken world. Together, we're ensuring that Padre Pio's wisdom doesn't remain locked in dusty monastery libraries, but flows freely to every person who needs divine guidance. Together, we're building bridges between heaven and earth, one video at a time, one heart at a time, one transformed life at a time. Thank you for being more than viewers. Thank you for being partners in this sacred mission that extends far beyond anything we could accomplish alone. Have you ever woken up with tears streaming down your face after dreaming of someone you've lost? That moment when you open your eyes and for a split second, they still feel so close, as if you could reach out and touch them. The room around you still carries their presence, their scent, the echo of their voice from your dream. These moments leave us shaken, wondering if something beyond our understanding has just occurred. Was this simply a creation of your grieving mind, or was their soul truly reaching out to you from beyond? Today, I'm going to share with you something profound, something that has brought comfort to countless people who have experienced these mysterious dream encounters. It's a revelation based on the teachings of Padre Pio, a saint known for his extraordinary spiritual gifts and his deep understanding of the connection between our world and the next. These aren't just ordinary dreams. They're something far more significant, a bridge between worlds. And understanding their true meaning could change forever how you view your connection with those you've lost. As you watch this video, you may recognize experiences you've had, moments that left you wondering, questioning, hoping. By the end, you'll understand that these precious encounters were far more real than you might have imagined. If you've ever dreamed of a loved one who has passed away and felt that inexplicable connection, write, "They visited me," in the comments. What I'm about to reveal might explain exactly what was happening in those precious moments. The loss of someone we love creates a void that nothing in this world seems capable of filling. The endless nights staring at the ceiling, the sudden waves of grief that crash over you when you least expect them, the physical ache in your chest that feels like your heart is literally breaking. In the midst of this deep ocean of grief, these dreams arrive like unexpected lifeboats, offering momentary solace, connection, and sometimes messages that seem to come from beyond our understanding. You wake up after dreaming of your mother's smile, your father's comforting voice, your child's laughter, or your partner's embrace, and you're left wondering, was this just my mind creating what I desperately wish for? Or was this something more? A true connection, a visitation, a message from beyond the veil? This question isn't new. Throughout human history, across all cultures and religions, people have wondered about the meaning of dreams where the deceased appear. Some dismiss them as merely wishful thinking, the brain's way of processing grief. Others believe they are genuine spiritual encounters. The uncertainty can be both comforting and unsettling, leaving us caught between hope and doubt. You might feel conflicted, wanting desperately to believe it was really them, yet fearing you're just clinging to false hope. You might have even kept these experiences to yourself, worried others would dismiss them as imagination or, worse, a sign that you're not moving on from your grief. But what if I told you that these dreams might be far more significant than most people realize? What if, according to the profound spiritual wisdom of Padre Pio, these aren't just dreams, but sacred moments of genuine connection? As Padre Pio once said, "Between heaven and earth, there exists a bridge that few people know how to cross." Sometimes, in the silence of the night, our loved ones reach out to us across this bridge, speaking to us in the language of dreams. These words hint at something extraordinary, that the boundary between our world and the next is not as impenetrable as we might think. That under certain conditions, in certain moments, communication is possible, and dreams provide the perfect canvas for this sacred exchange. Before I explain the different types of these special dreams and what they mean, let me tell you why Padre Pio's insights on this matter are so significant. This isn't just any spiritual perspective. It comes from someone who experienced the supernatural realm in ways few others have throughout history. Francesco Forgione, who would later be known as Padre Pio, was born in 1887 in a small Italian village. From his earliest years, he displayed extraordinary spiritual gifts. By the age of 5, He was already experiencing visions and communicating with his guardian angel. But what made Padre Pio truly remarkable was that as he grew older, these spiritual connections didn't diminish. They intensified. Most famous among his mystical experiences were the stigmata, the physical manifestation of Christ's wounds that appeared on his body and remained bleeding and painful for over 50 years. But beyond this visible sign, Padre Pio possessed abilities that gave him unique insight into the spiritual realm. He could read hearts, bilocate, appearing in two places at once, and as most relevant to our discussion today, he had an extraordinary ability to perceive the presence of souls, both living and deceased. Countless people reported that Padre Pio knew intimate details about their deceased loved ones, information he could not possibly have known through natural means. He often served as a messenger, delivering words of comfort or specific messages from those who had passed. And in many cases, these messages first came to the living through dreams, which Padre Pio would then confirm and elaborate upon. One of his lesser-known gifts was his profound understanding of dreams as a channel of communication between worlds. He taught that certain dreams are not random creations of our subconscious, but sacred encounters facilitated by God, moments when the veil between worlds grows thin, allowing souls to reach across and touch those they love. In the mystical tradition of the Church, Padre Pio wasn't alone in recognizing the spiritual significance of dreams. St. John Bosco received guidance through prophetic dreams throughout his life. St. Joseph, the foster father of Jesus, received divine messages through dreams. And throughout the Bible, from Jacob to Joseph to the Magi, dreams served as vehicles for spiritual communication. But Padre Pio's insights went further, offering specific understanding about dreams featuring our deceased loved ones. He provided wisdom about how to distinguish ordinary dreams from true spiritual encounters, how to interpret the messages contained within them, and most importantly, what these dreams reveal about the state of the souls who visit us. And now, I'm going to share with you the first and perhaps most profound type of dream encounter with the deceased, one that often occurs in the early days of grief and carries a message so powerful it can transform your entire understanding of death itself. This revelation might be exactly what your heart has been searching for. The first type of dream visitation Padre Pio identified is what spiritual directors call the farewell dream. These powerful encounters typically occur within days or weeks after a loved one's passing. They possess a distinctive quality that sets them apart from ordinary dreams, a luminous clarity that leaves an indelible impression on your soul. In these dreams, your loved one often appears radiant, healthy, and at peace. They may look younger than when they passed, restored to their prime, free from the illness or condition that may have marked their final days. Their presence carries a sense of lightness and serenity that feels palpably real. The colors in these dreams tend to be vivid, the emotions intense, and upon waking, many report a lingering sensation of having experienced something beyond an ordinary dream. As Padre Pio explained, these are not mere dreams, but moments of true connection, permitted by God as an act of mercy, both for the soul who has passed and for those left behind. They serve as a divine assurance that your loved one has safely completed their transition. The messages in farewell dreams are typically simple, yet profound. Your loved one might simply say, "I'm okay," or "Don't worry about me." They might express that they are no longer in pain, or that they've found peace. Sometimes they offer forgiveness or ask for forgiveness, creating closure that wasn't possible during their final days. In some cases, they don't speak at all. Their peaceful presence alone delivers the message. One woman described her farewell dream this way: "My husband appeared at the foot of our bed, looking young and healthy, the way he looked on our wedding day. There was a soft, golden light around him. He smiled and simply said, 'I'm fine now, better than fine. Please don't grieve too much.' I'm never really far. When I woke up, The room still felt warm with his presence, and for the first time since his passing, I felt a sense of peace rather than just pain. How can you recognize a true farewell dream? Padre Pio taught that these encounters carry distinctive spiritual markers. They bring a sense of peace rather than disturbance. They remain vivid in your memory long after other dreams fade, and most importantly, they leave a lingering sense of consolation that feels like a balm for your grief. The emotion you feel upon waking is not just sadness at their absence, but a mysterious comfort that transcends explanation. If you've experienced such a dream, understand that it was likely not just your subconscious processing grief, but an actual moment of connection, a divinely permitted farewell that offers assurance that your loved one has safely reached their destination. These dreams are sacred gifts, meant to begin the healing of your heart. The second powerful category of dream communication that Padre Pio identified is what I call warning dreams. Unlike farewell dreams, these can occur months or even years after a person's passing. Their distinct purpose is to provide guidance, protection, or urgent advice regarding decisions or dangers in your life. In these dreams, your loved one often appears focused and intent, sometimes even concerned. Their demeanor is not distressed, but purposeful. They may point to specific situations, people, or choices in your life. The settings of these dreams are frequently familiar places: your home, workplace, or locations significant to your current life circumstances. Warning dreams tend to be straightforward rather than symbolic. Your loved one might directly say, "Don't trust that person. Check the electrical wiring in the basement," or "Please go see a doctor soon." The message typically addresses situations you're currently facing or decisions you're contemplating. A particularly moving example comes from a mother who dreamed of her father 3 years after his passing. In her dream, her father pointed repeatedly to her young son and then to the boy's throat, saying urgently, "Listen to his breathing when he sleeps." Though her son had shown no obvious symptoms, this prompted her to monitor him at night, where she discovered he had severe sleep apnea, requiring immediate medical attention. The doctors later confirmed that the condition could have led to serious complications if left untreated. Padre Pio explained that these warning dreams reflect the continuing bond of love that transcends death. He said, "Those who have passed to eternal life do not cease to care for those they have left behind. God, in His mercy, sometimes allows them to guide and protect their loved ones from dangers they can perceive from their vantage point beyond this world." How can you distinguish a genuine warning dream from anxiety disguised as your loved one's voice? Padre Pio offered this guidance. True warning dreams contain information or insights you couldn't have known consciously. They come with a sense of importance that persists after waking, and they contain practical, specific guidance rather than vague fears. Most importantly, they are motivated by love and protection, not by fear or control. If you receive such a dream, Padre Pio advised to take it seriously, but also to pray for discernment. Consider the message thoughtfully, especially if it aligns with other intuitions or concerns you've had. These dreams are not meant to frighten, but to protect. They are extensions of the same love and care your loved one showed during their physical life. The third category, which brings profound comfort to many, are comfort and presence dreams. These gentle visitations often come during times of particular stress, sadness, or important life transitions. Unlike warning dreams, they don't contain specific messages or advice. Their purpose is simply to reassure you of your loved one's continuing presence and support. In these dreams, your loved one might simply sit with you in companionable silence. They might embrace you, walk alongside you, or engage in ordinary activities that you once shared, cooking together, fishing at a favorite spot, or sitting in a garden. The setting is often a place that held special meaning in your relationship, and there's typically a quality of peaceful ordinariness that paradoxically makes these dreams extraordinary. The emotions in these dreams are predominantly ones of peace, acceptance, and love. Many report waking with the lingering sensation of having been truly in their loved one's company, a feeling that goes beyond imagination or memory. Padre Pio described these encounters as moments when heaven gently touches earth. He explained that these aren't just psychological comfort, but genuine spiritual connections. In God's compassion, He sometimes allows souls to console those who mourn them, to be present in ways that transcend physical limitations. These are not just dreams, but brief reunions permitted by divine mercy. One elderly man shared how, on the night before his heart surgery, he dreamed of his wife who had passed 5 years earlier. She didn't say anything about the surgery. She just sat beside me on our old porch swing, holding my hand like she used to do on summer evenings. We watched the sunset together in comfortable silence. When I woke up, I felt her strength with me, and all my fear about the procedure was gone. These comfort dreams often come at pivotal moments, before important medical procedures, on significant anniversaries, during times of difficult decision-making, or when you're facing challenges that your loved one would have helped you navigate had they still been physically present. They serve as reminders that the bonds of love extend beyond the boundaries of physical existence. The fourth category of spiritual dream communication involves guidance dreams. These profound encounters typically occur when you face significant life decisions or spiritual crossroads. Unlike warning dreams that focus on protection from danger, guidance dreams offer wisdom, direction, and spiritual insight. In these dreams, your loved one might appear as a gentle teacher or guide. They often lead you through symbolic landscapes or show you meaningful images. Sometimes they speak in parables or share wisdom that seems to come from a place of expanded understanding. The settings of these dreams frequently feature symbols of journey or transition, paths, doorways, bridges, or stairways. One woman described dreaming of her grandmother shortly before making a major career decision. My grandmother took me to a garden with many different paths. She didn't tell me which path to take, but she gave me a compass and said, "The true north isn't success or security, but where your heart finds purpose." This completely reframed my decision-making process, helping me choose based on meaning rather than just practical considerations. Padre Pio explained that guidance dreams reflect the spiritual maturation and expanded perspective that souls experience after death. Those who have passed beyond the veil see with greater clarity the things that truly matter in the eternal scope of existence. Their guidance comes not from a place of control, but from a perspective of eternal values and deeper understanding. Unlike other dream types that might feel emotionally straightforward, guidance dreams often leave you contemplative, even philosophically challenged. The messages typically require reflection and spiritual discernment. They don't provide simple answers so much as they invite you to see your situation from a more expansive perspective. As we conclude our exploration of these different dream types, remember that they exist on a spectrum. Some dreams may contain elements of multiple categories. The common thread among all genuine spiritual dream encounters is that they leave you with a sense of having experienced something beyond ordinary dreaming, something that feels authentically connected to the essence of your loved one. Now, before I reveal the most profound truth about what these dreams tell us about the state of your loved ones on the other side, I want to share something special with you. For those of you who have been deeply moved by these revelations and wish to explore Padre Pio's spiritual wisdom more fully, I've created something special that goes beyond what we can cover in this video. The Spiritual Secrets of Saint Padre Pio is an ebook that contains powerful prayers, in-depth reflections based on his teachings, and practical spiritual guidance that has transformed countless lives. This comprehensive guide explores not only dream visitations, but also Padre Pio's extraordinary insights on guardian angels, spiritual protection, and establishing a profound connection with the divine. You'll discover specific prayers he recommended for those seeking contact with departed loved ones, along with guidance on creating the spiritual conditions that foster these sacred connections. The wisdom contained in this resource has brought comfort and spiritual breakthrough to thousands. Simply click the link pinned in the comments to access this treasure trove of spiritual knowledge that complements everything we're discussing today. Now, let's continue our exploration of these profound spiritual encounters and discover how to discern their authentic meaning in your life. How can you distinguish a genuine spiritual encounter from an ordinary dream? Padre Pio offered specific insights into this crucial question, providing spiritual markers that help us recognize authentic communications from beyond. The first sign is extraordinary clarity and vivid awareness. Unlike typical dreams that feel hazy or disjointed, genuine spiritual encounters possess a crystalline quality. Colors appear more vibrant, details more precise, and your consciousness during the dream feels heightened rather than clouded. Many describe feeling more awake in the dream than in waking life, a paradoxical but consistent description. The second marker is the lasting impression. While ordinary dreams fade quickly upon waking, authentic spiritual encounters remain etched in memory with remarkable detail, often for years or even decades. The emotional imprint they leave isn't fleeting, but transformative, sometimes marking a distinct before and after in your grief journey. The third indicator involves the sensory experience. Many report perceiving distinctive scents associated with their loved one, a particular cologne, the smell of pipe tobacco, or a signature perfume that seems to linger even after waking. Others describe feeling actual physical sensations, the warmth of an embrace, a kiss on the forehead, or the distinctive way their loved one would squeeze their hand. These sensory experiences transcend what we typically associate with dreams. The fourth sign relates to the emotional quality of the encounter. Authentic visitations bring a sense of peace that defies logical explanation, especially given the grief context. Even when the message involves warnings or guidance that might be challenging, there remains an underlying current of tranquility rather than disturbance. As Padre Pio explained, communications permitted by God always bring peace, even when they challenge us. Those that disturb our spiritual equilibrium come from elsewhere. The fifth marker involves information that couldn't have been known through normal means. Your loved one might mention events that occurred after their passing, reference conversations you've had with others in private, or demonstrate awareness of situations they couldn't possibly know through ordinary channels. These evidential communications provide some of the most compelling evidence of authentic contact. True spiritual communication always contains the fingerprints of divine love, Padre Pio taught. It respects free will, brings peace rather than confusion, and serves the genuine good of the soul. When examining your dream experiences, Padre Pio recommended a contemplative approach that combines spiritual intuition with thoughtful reflection. Start by recording the dream in writing as soon as possible after waking, capturing not just events, but emotions, sensations, and any unusual aspects of the experience. Note the setting, any objects of significance, exact words spoken, and especially the quality of your loved one's presence. Next, reflect on whether the message aligns with spiritual wisdom and authentic love. Genuine communications never encourage harm, never induce despair, and never contradict core spiritual truths about love, forgiveness, and divine mercy. They may challenge you to grow, but always in the direction of greater love and spiritual development. Another important consideration involves symbolic elements. Dreams often communicate through the language of symbols, personal symbols that held meaning in your relationship with the deceased, or universal archetypes that transcend individual experience. A father who loved sailing might appear in a boat. A mother who nurtured a garden might appear among flowers. These settings aren't random, but carry significance that rewards contemplation. Padre Pio cautioned against both extreme approaches, neither dismissing all dreams as meaningless psychological phenomena, nor interpreting every dream as divine communication. Discernment requires humility, patience, and spiritual maturity, recognizing that the boundary between worlds is sacred territory to be approached with reverence rather than casual curiosity. For those seeking to better understand their dream experiences, Padre Pio recommended several spiritual practices that create receptivity to authentic communication while providing protection from deception. The first practice is regular prayer, particularly before sleep. A simple, heartfelt conversation with God expressing openness to divine communication creates spiritual conditions conducive to authentic encounters. Padre Pio often suggested praying, "Lord, if it be your will, allow me to receive the comfort and guidance of my loved ones according to your divine wisdom." The second practice involves creating a serene spiritual environment. This includes both physical elements, reducing electronic stimulation before sleep, creating a peaceful bedroom atmosphere, and spiritual ones, such as forgiveness work, reconciliation, and releasing negative emotions that create static in our spiritual receptivity. The third practice is maintaining a dream journal, which develops your ability to distinguish different types of dreams and recognize patterns in spiritual communication over time. Record not just the content, but also the distinctive quality of different dream experiences, creating a personal reference that helps discern authentic encounters. Perhaps most importantly, Padre Pio emphasized community discernment. Sharing your experiences with a trusted spiritual advisor or guide provides objective perspective that helps separate wishful thinking from authentic spiritual experiences. The collective wisdom of spiritual tradition offers safeguards against self-deception while honoring genuine encounters. The language of heaven is often subtle, Padre Pio explained. It requires both the heart's intuition and the mind's careful reflection. When these work in harmony, the authentic voice becomes clear. These practices create the conditions for meaningful spiritual connection while maintaining the discernment necessary for authentic spiritual growth. They acknowledge both the reality of spiritual communication and the sacred responsibility to approach it with wisdom. Now we come to the most profound revelation about what these dreams tell us about the state of your loved ones on the other side. A truth that can transform your understanding of death itself and bring profound comfort to your grieving heart. What is the ultimate meaning behind these dream visitations? What do they reveal about the eternal state of your loved ones who have crossed the threshold of death? Here we arrive at Padre Pio's most profound teaching on this subject, a revelation that has brought immeasurable comfort to countless grieving hearts. According to Padre Pio's spiritual insights, these dreams reveal something extraordinary. Your loved ones are not merely at rest or in some distant, unreachable realm. They exist in a state of active love, conscious awareness, and continued connection with those they cherished in life. Death has not diminished their love for you. It has transformed and expanded it beyond the limitations of physical existence. The souls of the departed, Padre Pio taught, are more alive than we are. Freed from the constraints of physical limitation, they now experience love in its purest, most powerful form. Their awareness has expanded, not contracted. Their capacity to care has deepened, not diminished. When they are permitted to reach across the veil in dreams, they come not as shadowy remnants of who they once were, but as the fullest expression of who they truly are. This revelation stands in stark contrast to the popular conception of death as a state of unconscious sleep or distant removal. Instead, Padre Pio describes a continuity of consciousness and relationship, one transformed by divine grace, but unbroken by physical death. In his most direct teaching on this subject, Padre Pio stated, "When you dream of someone who has passed on and feel their presence with extraordinary clarity, understand this profound truth. That soul is revealing to you their current state of being. They are showing you that they continue to exist, to love, to care about your welfare. These are not mere echoes of memory, but moments of genuine connection permitted by divine mercy. This perspective aligns with the ancient Christian understanding of the communion of saints, the belief that the bond between souls transcends death, creating an unbroken spiritual family that spans both worlds. Your loved ones remain active participants in this communion, able to offer prayer, comfort, and even guidance under the proper spiritual conditions. Let me share with you two powerful testimonies that illustrate this transformative truth. Maria, a widow who lost her husband of 40 years to a sudden heart attack, experienced profound grief that seemed insurmountable. 3 months after his passing, she had a dream so vivid it defied conventional explanation. James appeared at the foot of our bed, looking younger and radiant with light. He showed me what looked like a tapestry with countless interconnected threads. He pointed to certain threads that joined us together and said, "See, death hasn't cut these. Nothing can." He then placed his hand over my heart and said, "I'm more present to you now than I could ever be before. My love isn't bound by time or space anymore." When I woke up, the crushing weight of grief had transformed. I still missed his physical presence desperately, but the agonizing fear that he was simply gone had vanished. I knew with certainty that our connection continued. The second testimony comes from Robert, who lost his teenage daughter in a tragic accident. Consumed by guilt and questions about her final moments, he found himself in a downward spiral of despair. 6 weeks after her passing, he experienced what he describes as more real than any waking moment of my life. His daughter appeared to him in a garden filled with light. "Dad, I need you to know something," she said. "And the last thing I felt wasn't fear, it was love. And that's all I feel now, pure love. No pain, no regret, just complete understanding and peace. You taught me how to love, and now I'm in the source of all love. Please don't spend your life in darkness mourning me. I'm not in darkness, I'm in light. And I can reach you better when you step out of the shadows." Robert describes waking from this dream, with tears streaming down his face, but they were different tears than before. For the first time, I felt like I could breathe again. The guilt and horror began to lift. I realized that the best way to honor her was to live in light, not darkness. That dream wasn't just comfort, it was liberation. These testimonies highlight a crucial aspect of Padre Pio's teaching. Authentic dream visitations don't just provide momentary comfort, they transform our relationship with death itself. They reveal that what we call death is not an ending, but a transition into a different mode of existence, one where love continues and even expands. This understanding opens a new perspective on mortality, not as the cessation of being, but as a transformation of being, not as the end of relationship, but as the transfiguration of relationship. Your loved ones haven't disappeared into nothingness or fallen into unconscious sleep. They have stepped into a fuller reality where their capacity to love has been liberated from physical constraints. What does this mean for you personally? It means that your loved ones remain present in ways more significant than memory alone. The love you shared hasn't ended. It has entered a new phase. The dreams we've discussed are glimpses into this continuing relationship, permitted by divine mercy to bring healing to your grieving heart. This doesn't mean we shouldn't grieve. Jesus himself wept at the tomb of Lazarus, even knowing he would rise. The physical separation is real and painful. We naturally yearn for their tangible presence, their voice, their touch, their physical companionship. Acknowledging this loss honestly is part of healthy grieving. Yet Padre Pio's teachings offer hope within that grief, the assurance that death transforms but does not destroy the bonds of authentic love. Your loved ones continue their journey in a realm where divine love illuminates everything, where understanding expands, and where the essential connection between souls remains unbroken. This perspective gives new meaning to your dream encounters. They aren't just psychological comfort or wishful thinking. They're sacred moments of genuine connection across the threshold between worlds. They reveal that your loved ones are not lost to you, merely transformed and waiting in a realm where time itself holds different meaning. As you reflect on your own dream experiences, I invite you to consider them in this new light. The peace they bring isn't illusion, but a glimpse of a deeper reality. The messages they contain aren't just echoes of memory, but authentic communications permitted by divine love. The sense of presence you feel isn't imagination, but a momentary thinning of the veil between worlds. If these teachings have resonated with you, I invite you to share your own experience in the comments. Have you received a dream visitation that brought unexpected peace? Has a loved one reached across the threshold to offer comfort, guidance, or reassurance? Your story might bring hope to someone else walking through the dark valley of grief. Remember the words of Padre Pio. What we call death is merely a threshold, not an ending. Love is the one force that transcends this threshold effortlessly. Trust the love that continues to reach for you across that threshold. It is as real now as it ever was. May this understanding bring peace to your heart and a new perspective on your continuing relationship with those who have preceded you into that realm of light. May you recognize the sacred gift of these dream encounters as bridges between worlds, not as wishful thinking, but as glimpses of an eternal reality where love never dies, but only grows more perfect in the divine light. And remember, when you next dream of your loved one with that extraordinary clarity that defies explanation, it isn't just your memory speaking. It's them reaching across that sacred threshold, assuring you of the unbreakable bond that connects you still. They are well, they are at peace, and they are closer than you think.